little abandoned Henry is fixed. Well, we know he's fixed because we fixed one the other year, but he's been refurbished. You can already see a slight sneak peek of a new handle, but let's properly go through it and I'll show you what I've done. And also we have some stuff to fit. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? We've had all the excitement of Numatic week on Ibasiac. I'm not doing Numatic week, I just have one Numatic, the Blue Henry, that I found in an abandoned house, in the garden of an abandoned house, is done. He has been refurbished. His top came up quite well, it wasn't too battle scarred. The switch is working as you saw last time. You might have noticed that does that. I should explain that in a bit. So yes, basically it's, as you see, I was very cheeky and I couldn't actually really find blue hubcaps, so I just took both the hubcaps off the wheel because the average person I'm going to sell this to really isn't going to care about it. The hose came up very well, although it is still quite beaten up, but again, nobody's really going to care. We open him up. That's nice and clean. That was quite clean before. Now this is the filter that was in Henry when I got him. If you remember, it was all wet and disgusting. Now, it's been through the washing machine to get to this. Now, I'm going to put this public because obviously we all need to learn from time to time. The problem with putting these through the washing machine is it can be fraught with danger. Yes, it can bring them up beautifully, but it can also damage them. I've had this before and sadly I have it now because, as you can see, the filter got caught. I could hear it when it was on. It was rubbing against the door as it was spinning around. This caught and it has cut the filter. It's also you can sort of see a little bit of damage. Oh, where are we? There, it's all a bit scuffed. So yeah, unfortunately you do run the risk washing filters. I've had many work perfectly well. If you put it inside of something it might work. If you do enough you can put them in a pillowcase. But I have this in the washing machine with the hose and unfortunately that is now scrap. Which isn't completely the end of the world, because I needed bags. I went into the shed of broken dreams, to find a HEPA or two, and I didn't have any. My stock control is terrible at the minute, so I needed bags anyway. So for I think this wasn't a lot of money. How much money was it? £9.49 from LM Electrical, which is Qualtex. I stocked up. So I have 20 HEPA bags, Bojack HEPA bags, but Bojack HEPA bags nonetheless, they're fine, I'll be honest. So we need 2 of these, actually 3. I always sell my Henrys with 1 fitted and 2 spares. So we can take the spotlessly clean bucket, all that filth, rinse stuff mainly. Didn't even need to polish it. I gave the outside a bit of a polish, but the majority of the crap just fell off. So we can pop the new bag on. Marvellous, and I'll pop these 2 just out of shop because that'll be for when I sell it. So we have a bag. Included in my £9.49 is a new pattern again filter. It's a replacement for an Edward vacuum cleaner, but they're all exactly the same. And basically it looks pretty much identical. If I was being quite picky, the honeycomb effect on the new one is a bit more coarse than the honeycomb effect on the other one. But that looks exactly the same. I haven't got the old ones of these with me because I didn't bother to get them out of the shed when the filter knackered itself. And yeah, basically they are as close could be. Identical, they even fit well enough. So, there we go really. Oh yeah, no, there we go. It also came with these Seabow rip-off air fresheners. Well, we have lemon fresh and forest fresh. Now, I've never had these before. In fact, I completely forgot I was having these because I did bring, although I don't seem to have brought them upstairs, some disc filters. I have loads of the disc ones that I lob in all my refurbs. But I forgot it came with these. So we, obviously you can't smell these. Ooh. That's very strong. That smells like a sherbet lemon. Meh. Why the devil not? In that goes. You watch it burn through the plastic or something. So that's something to try. What they came with, that's it. £9.50 delivered. That's not too horrific, I'll be honest. And now, air freshener doesn't seem to be doing much. Let's stick it on top of the filter. There. Might take a while for it to permeate through. Who knows? But yes, the motor works well, as you heard. This is on low. High. The suction seems perfectly acceptable. Now the hose. If you remember, the end was broken. So I took it off the first thing I did. And in the shed, I knew I had this. It's a new end. Now, normally on these hoses, it all unscrews, hence why the kit has a new ring. That is what's screwed onto here. However, this one is, the glue is fine on it. And it's still quite sticky, so all I intend to do is fit the new end and just clip that bit on there. So now we have a non-split end. So we can fit his hose. Hopefully, come on, there we go. Lovely. I forgot about that. These hoses they're conical, aren't they? I'm sure the pneumatic police are jumping up and down at their screens. They're conical, so it concentrates the suction more. So that's pretty good. Now, as you know, this is all I got with little Henry when I picked him up from his abandoned garden. So I had a route all through the shed and came up with 2 extension ones and a bent end. Now, one of these ones is from my old George, but I don't have old George anymore, so Henry can have the wand. So there we go. So that's marvellous. I also found some small tools that I've had kicking around for ages and don't really want. So we have an upholstery tool with the brush, an older style actually, but I don't really care, dusting brush. It's quite battered, so it's not really much good, and a perfectly nice crevice tool. So there we go. That's about good to, it's not good to go, is it? Because obviously I need a floor tool. Now, I did try, I had a look on eBay to get an actual proper one that had the parking bracket, but I could not find one cheap anywhere. But I did miss out on an auction for one that went for £7 flipping quid, so I was a little bit annoyed about. But then I remember one that has been recommended to me before based on chat that I've heard, and it is one of these, a flat head. Now this is not genuine pneumatic. In fact, this came from LM Electrical, the same as those. This was £8, and it's basically a carbon clone of Numatic's own version, which sits there and should work quite well. Let's just have a quick look at how well it does work. I'll leave it in high. And it's not too bad. It's got a rubber, it was £8, squeegee on the front, in fact that is quite hard, and back, and 2 lint strips, and apart from it flinging a little bit of dust about, it works very well indeed. Perfectly well enough to sell with our Henry. So there we go, my free Henry has cost me about £18 now. Although, to be fair, I now have a massive stack of bags, which I need anyway, so I can write a bit of that cost off. And he is now ready to have a nice picture taken of him and sold. But one thing that I was wondering is how does a modern, what is he again, 620 watt Henry compare to an older 1100 watt Henry? Granted, one with a slightly knackered motor, but the suction is still fine on it in terms of that. But I just crawled in front of the camera because the wand is over here. In fact, we don't really need the wand, so that can go there. Oh, now the bag for me lights is in the way. We have 2 Henrys, one with the 11. Oh no, sorry, it's 1,000. Well, 1,200 or 1,000. We'll call it 1,000. Get rid of that as well. Move you up into the shot. We can do a little comparison, couldn't we? Red Henry doesn't seem to be sucking much better, which I thought it might. It also smells quite a lot. Oh. That might be why, that's quite full. We'd best give a bit of a tidy up. There we go, the filter was utterly choked. This has been, my stepdad's been doing their bedroom and has been hammering little Henry, because that's what they have him for really. So we'll pop a new bag in, and we'll pop the cleaned up filter on. We'll pop the hat on. We'll move you back to there. Now because this Henry is missing its speed adjustment because I binned it because it didn't work, that's why I got him, because it was one of those broken ones. To be fair, we'll put this Henry on max. Right, let's see if this one sucks any better. I must say this Henry does have stronger suction than that one. It's not too noticeable, but this one is a lot sharper than Blue Henry, which, although is to be expected because they've got, you know, 600 versus 1000, these ones are supposed to be comparable, but not fully convinced. But they are perfectly fine for normal use. So there we go. 2 Henrys, different eras. We'll ignore that one because this video is not about him because he's not broken yet. He'll get one when he's broken. My Blue Henry is ready to be sold. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I won't have him for much longer. And I shall see you soon. Goodbye.